Well, here we are. Admittedly, was a little bit late off the gun, mostly because I was busy getting some tea, but anyways, welcome back to, like, the final parts of Sonic Heroes. You can just, like, call me Stent and stuff. We're here with, like, the best team of this whole bunch. We're here with Team Rose. This is gonna be starting from, like, the beginning, because that's where that's, like, the place to start and stuff. What wacky things will this delusional Hedgehog say today? Only one way to find out. As Big does what he thinks is a cool pose. He's supposedly 20, by the way. I like how Cream is just sort of hanging out there on the little parasol. They just so happen to be there just in time to catch this little slip of paper. Please tell me you're not doing that all stream. I mean, do you want me to? Even Metal Sonic. Probably not when we get to there, but obviously, since this is the last part. Also, Big is here for some reason. And I say that, they do at least a decent job of trying to set this up. Why does the bunny have alien noises when she flies? That's a very good question as well, considering she's supposedly able to fly with her ears. I mean, I suppose that comes with the territory. I mean, even I can't fly with my ears, and they're supposedly the same size. Does Big look like he's a bit different from the cast? What could you possibly mean by that? Oh no. Yeah. Just because you're playing as Team Rose, which is like the baby team for babies, you get the tutorial. They're the only ones who play the tutorial as part of their campaign, though you can go for the tutorial as Team Sonic from the main menu. Hello, mandatory tutorial. Well, it's not exactly mandatory if you're going for the other teams, but of course I am going for this team last, so it's a little bit awkward. Yes, these symbols that you've been seeing throughout the entire game at this point. Big eyes and yeah, I suppose it is a little weird that there's only like one sort of default Mobianoid design, if that makes sense. With Big being like this major outlier, just being this big round guy with the tiniest of legs. I'm kind of surprised he can even keep up with the rest of the team, though granted he couldn't really in Adventure 1. I think he was originally supposed to be teamed with Gamma. And of course, Amy's idle animation has it so that you can her skirt is angled in such a way. I'll try to avoid it for the rest of the stream, but don't blame me should Amy want to showcase certain bits and pieces, at least in this level where we're forced to watch the idle animation. I mean, I could just skip for all this, but this is important stuff that I won't shout. Eyes are different. Well, yeah. Big really is like one of the more unique design characters when you think about it. I can see why most people would think he's a little out of place. So the only thing that makes sense on him is that muzzle, which is basically like Tails', and the chest floof. And that really is an interesting question. Is Big actually wearing shoes, or there's just sandals and he's got the blob feet? Is Big confirmation that blob feet are canon? Ah yes, rings. The things where you only really need one throughout this whole game. I'm just going to enjoy my tea while this is going on. Made in a bit of a hurry, so it's mostly just milk at this point. Oh no, it's the villains, which can't actually hurt me. They're almost as useless as the egg pawns and forces. You know I was gonna I know I was gonna mention that at some point, just... Why would Robotnik / Metal Sonic make these flappers which don't have any weapons on them? I mean, you could argue maybe some sort of scout transport, but at the same time... It just seems like a super... Can you imagine this kind of tutorial in Sonic 1? I'm pretty sure there is an Omochao mode in... An Omochao mod of Sonic 1 where it's just like Omochao just coming into screen and putting up a fanfare. It's just like, you got a ring! You got another ring! You defeated a badnik! And it just keeps getting longer and longer each time. So it's more sort of a challenge on how little of the game you can interact with. Sandals, Amy, and Tails have them too. Yes! You hear that, Vel? Blob feet are officially canon according to Big. Because I know he doesn't like the blob feet. But it's so funny they need to explain how basic mechanics work. Like, it's just like that one DVD that came packed with Mario Galaxy 2. It was like, to play Super Mario Galaxy 2, you need a Wiimote. This is like, yes. How else do you think I would have? Do you think I would have gotten this game without access to a Wii? Amy, please. There are potentially children watching. Alright, fly formation time. Oh, love great camera angle this. I can kind of see why a lot of redesigners opt to put Amy and potentially Cream in the black shorts. Or black spats or whatever, just, getting very much Lollipop Chainsaw vibes from this sort of thing now. I mean, obviously as a kid you don't really think about this sort of thing, but going back to this, it's just... Why did you think this was a good idea? I can't even adjust the camera distance, it's just there. Dear, oh dear. Seriously though, what is the point of these? Because you'd think they'd at least be... Well, I suppose it is Robotnik. Overhead angle at all times. The true challenge begins now. Well, yeah, the Kill a Kill is supposed to be full, that sort of thing. If that's what you get. Alright. Thundershoot practice just absolutely decimated these poor souls. You know how the Thundershoot works. You've seen me completely destroy the Egg Emperor. Let's switch over to Big. Let's see how he fares at a camera position where it isn't suggestive in the slightest. I think I may actually default to this at most points. Mostly because I think Big might be in contention for Vector as one of the best power-type characters in the game. Mostly because the shot-based ones are generally better than the punchy ones. Chaps love them, Doc Diddy. Shh, shh. Oh, quick learner. That just puts me in mind of Anakin just, I am a slow learner. Moments before getting his hand cut off. I mean, I could potentially do this, considering we're likely gonna get one for the tutorial anyway. I have B button while jumping here. Obviously, this is gonna be the fire dunk or the belly flop, but I could just do this. I think he calls it like the body press or something. Because Big is apparently well known for his titanic defense. Well, I suppose he was the tank in Chronicles. I'd rather keep those sort of topics out of these streams, if that's alright, missionary. Hope you don't mind. Anyways, yeah, that's Team Blast. Arguably, Team Rose has the best Team Blast in the game. It doesn't necessarily have any after effects, it just gives you a shield, invincibility, and a free level up. It's just... It really is just like the, baby's first Team Blast. The real sort of handholdy one. Reel back? Yeah, exactly, reel back on that. Well, there's Whale Island, so we can get moving. Nine-minute tutorial. Well, yeah, that was because I wasn't skipping through most of the dialogue. I think that might be the one level which is actually longest throughout this whole thing. Just watch. Because the one thing Team Rose is known for is having the levels which are short. And arguably, in most people's opinion, from what I've heard, the most digestible. At least, they were for me back in the day. Guess we just start all the way, like, at the midpoint of the level. Where all the interesting stuff happens, where you got... These really are like the bubbles of this game, like in Sonic 4. Where bubbles just exist as homing attack fodder. You would have thought after a while Robotnik would stop designing robots like that, but then again... The egg pawns enforces, so... I guess in some cases you just never learned. I think Team Sonic is fun. Yeah, I'd say so too. I suppose just coming off of stuff like Adventure 2. These levels, I reckon, can be a bit more digestible in a casual setting. Considering those usually go on for at the most like 5 minutes. At least from what I recall. Oh, so yeah. Once again, Big is voiced by Duke Nukem, I believe, and you'd never be able to tell. Doc definitely pushes it. Yeah, but I think most of that is just down to combat. I think I've mentioned it several times, but I've sort of come to the conclusion at this point that, I'm not sure as to whether combat's necessarily a good fit for the Sonic series, at least in a mainline sense. Like, I'm sure combat is would be good for certain spin-offs, like I'm pretty sure I mentioned Chronicles as a decent example, well... with a few notable asterisks next to that, obviously, but generally speaking, I feel combat in Sonic games is more best suited to side stuff, if that makes sense. So I kind of wish we would get more sort of Sonic RPGs, to be perfectly honest. Just seems like the perfect place to really actually expand and have a big, expansive, immersive story. Though, then again, if that was the case, it would probably be Ian writing it. So, yeah, because I've heard for apparently the 2026 Sonic game, they're planning on having Ian just write the whole of it, which, oh boy, it's gonna be interesting seeing how that goes with Mr. Dave Filoni of the Sonic franchise. Woohoo! That's Duke Nukem, everybody. Yep, can't wait for new Sonic content.
We're like awesome.
I don't know though, despite all these sort of promotional crossovers, I don't necessarily feel as though the Sonic series necessarily gotten to the point of being just sort of the similar sort of rapid fire slot machine that Star Wars has become. At least not yet. I mean, the closest we can get to the Disney Plus stuff, I reckon, would be things like the IDW run, which I haven't actually been keeping too much track of, to be perfectly honest. I've heard not much seems to have changed to really be noteworthy, at least from what I've heard. She even uses like to bridge her sentences. Where'd you think I got the idea? But yeah, I will admit, when it comes to at least the English voice actors, me personally, I've really come around to the 4Kids voice cast. Whenever I think of Amy, the one voice that really comes to mind, at least for me, would be Lisa Ortiz. For better or for worse, because I know she has a very distinct voice. Like seeing her in various different other animes. Sonic spin-off star Blazes the MC. Well, according to Ian, that's gonna be the most boring show ever because apparently Blaze just solved all the Soul Dimensions problems off screen. There's like no Robotnik, no evil pirates to deal with, no Soul Dimension version of Solaris or Memphis or anything. Just nope, it's all peaceful over there, and Blaze just sitting here drinking tea and not being particularly interesting because that would involve having talented writing skills. Around 30 to 40 issues of nothing when Sonic and when Surge and Kit were introduced. Yeah, that sounds about right. It really is a shame though, because you'd think that the IDW run would be a good opportunity to really expand upon the world building and really showcasing how a lot of this nonsensical world fits together, and yet it just doesn't make an effort with the world building, as I'm pretty sure most people have pointed out with that one scene at the end of the Metal Virus arc where there's just a big field. And that's the extent of just, oh, it's a big wide world. No, it's just a big field. Yeah, I just call him Robo Robotnik. Ever since I played Rush, just going to avoid that particular pronunciation problem by nipping it in the bud right off the bat. I figured Robo Robotnik would be a bit more prudent, given, for some reason I decided to just call Xfinitivus in Chronicles. I figured, you know what, let's just go all the way with this sort of weird Archie names for a lot of these different characters. Let's just have some fun with this, because that's the whole point of these streams, is to have at least a modicum of fun with these old games. I don't know, for me it seems as though... Oh. It really feels as though this turtle section, or tortoise section, turtley section, there's a bit more to this compared to the other ones. Maybe just me taking a wrong turn, but... Well, that's Ocean Palace out of the way already. I think both of those levels combined took less time than the tutorial. Mary Poppins, is that you? Ah. I think, various YouTube videos have sort of ruined Mary Poppins for me, because I can't help but imagine just Mary Poppins as with an M16. Just slapping Michael across the face every 10 seconds. Was Robo Robotnik in the comics? Yeah, he basically just replaced the original Robotnik because he died. And then he inspired the Robotnik from another dimension to just take over his dimension, kill his Sonic, and then come over for an encore. And then he had a mental breakdown. Archie was wild. Can you play Tails Adventure? You know, that's an interesting one. I suppose I could look around and see if I can dig it up. Archie was, well, yeah. I've played a little bit of Tails Adventure, but not really a substantial amount, if that makes sense. Would be an interesting opportunity, because I was wondering what to stream next. I was initially playing... Oh, what's going on with the lighting on this guy? Oh, here we are again. I'm not sitting around to watch Agatha all along, I said before. Yeah, I'm digging up that whole joke, because nobody remembers Agatha all along. Not even you, Amy. Oh my god, like, what's he talking about? Agatha All Along's like totally the best Marvel TV show? Yeah, I've heard that and experienced a fair bit of stuff with regards to Tails Adventure. If people want me to play Tails Adventure, then I see no qualms with trying it out. Also, yeah, you could just do this as big. Yeah, just like with a lot of the Game Gear games, I remember at least trying out Tails Adventure on Gems Collection. I think it was Gems Collection. Also, there is Dreamcast Game Gear games on Adventure DX. Amy would totally watch Ironheart for the sake of... Yes, she would! She definitely would. She needs to prove her ally status, because according to Ian, that's all she's good for.
Why does he keep making these machines?
What a disappointment. My god, these... I'm not... I don't know, just talking about Ironheart feels like it's just stepping into a minefield, so I think I'm just going to avoid it.
Amy, are you sure Mr. Sonic is here? No doubt about it. My heart is never wrong.
I do definitely miss these sort of chide comments from Cream from time to time. This was also a thing in Battle and in Rush, I believe. Thanks a bunch, game, for that camera angle, by the way. You know, just speaking with a friend of mine who doesn't necessarily like Amy, and one of his main complaints is the fact that is just the gratuitous amounts of panties shots. And with this game, I can kind of see now what he's talking about. Just they're not even trying to hide it. Amy, are you sure Mr. Sonic is... Of course, the tracker I have on him, like, totally says so. That actually reminds me a fair bit. Just something I've been thinking a little bit about. Mostly just the dichotomy of the main sort of Sonic cast, because I know that for Flynn at least, he's trying to make it so Knuckles, for example, is more logical in the fact that, oh, he's actually off Angel Island for a change, and there's a reason for him to be off the island as opposed to him just showing up in every game and everyone just being like, why is he not guarding the Master Emerald? And, well, obviously it's something I'm taking with a grain of salt because that wasn't in the Japanese dub, but you get what I mean. But honestly, I kind of feel that, me personally, I wouldn't mind if Amy actually took Knuckles' place in sort of the main Sonic team, considering, technically speaking, she's like one of the oldest Sonic characters, at least in terms of appearances. I'm pretty sure she debuted earlier than Tails even. She's like the third character ever to debut in the Sonic series. At least as far as I'm aware, unless we're not counting the various animal friends like good old Cucky. I know he's been given a new name, but he's always going to be Cucky in my heart. Because what were they thinking with that name? I'm not going to let them forget it. Get out of here, you. I suppose it is an interesting question, really, how Amy is actually able to keep track of Sonic this whole time. I know a lot of people will be like, oh my god, she totally uses the tarot cards from Cyberpunk in order to hunt him down. And I think that was a thing at least in battle, but... do we really want to go with the fact that Amy uses her tarot cards to constantly hunt down the Hedgehog? Because I'm not entirely... I feel as though I've gone into a whole bunch of, tirades nowadays about the characterization of Amy. Honestly, I suppose I may as well say right now, I don't think her characterization in this game is as bad as everybody says. I mean, obviously, she's all into, wanting to get at Sonic. But at the same time, she's at least, still... I want to say, encouraging the rest of the team. She actually is acting like a bit of a leader here. Like, I could kind of see her going this route after wanting to really get a taste of hero ship after Adventure 2. But obviously in Adventure 2 she bit off a little bit more than she could chew. Yeah, not gonna bother with special stages for stage 1. You don't... I think you mostly just get extra lives, and I don't think we're gonna be needing those. I like how they bring these keys in, Shadow the Hedgehog, though. Just gotta reuse as much assets as possible. We're making this in like under a year. Chop chop. Somehow they just teleported over here. Oh yeah, one thing that I noticed is just these, oh great, I missed. I was gonna say, those are strange looking platforms there, when I'm not entirely certain why they're there. I think I may as well just go in for a closer look. Oh yes, and they all constantly just tell you, when grinding, press the B button to accelerate and control stick to balance. Thanks a bunch, game. Yeah, I wanted to try over here, because there's just these weird side platforms here, which... Okay, so these ones have at least come with a 1-up. In Team Dark's playthrough, it was just some rings, and I was just like, why is this here? Why can you come here? What is this for? May as well go check the other side, because you can check the other side. There's literally nothing here. Why is this here? What are we doing, game designers? Maybe probably. Well, that's Grand Metropolis. The last time we'll have to come back here for a while, unless I do any of the Olympic Games, which... It's gonna be interesting figuring out how to play those without a Wiimote. Yeah, I kinda deserve that. So I have no idea what those particular side platforms are there for. Alright, here we are. Escape from the energy plant, which doesn't look like a plant at all. There's no foliage anywhere, and... Okay, we'll just start on one of the elevators, good to know. Really wanting to just power up Krem really nice and early, huh? Alright. I'll play along. There we go, up to level 3 immediately. Ah yes, those Eggman's robots. We've got to be clear, it's those Eggman's robots as opposed to... somebody else. Who? I mean, I guess there's Gun, but we haven't... But Gun pretty much don't exist outside of Adventure 2 and Shadow the Hedgehog, so... Take that as you will. I feel as though there's some stuff in these crates. Honestly, I kind of feel as though Amy might be the worst of the speed characters, maybe? I don't know, maybe it's just I don't really like her tornado move. It's a projectile as opposed to just standing in one place. Oh, I was just about to say, are the fireballs too much for... Nope, the fireballs are not too much for the little kitties to handle. I wasn't sure as to whether these were still here. Oh, thanks, game. Just zoom me right in with this magnificent camera. Get out of here, you. And once again, Cream proves how overpowered she is in normal gameplay. At least I'm pretty certain she's is like supposedly a pretty powerful attack. In terms of flying type characters, part of me really wants to say that Tails and Rouge are really tied for the worst, mostly just because of their dummy ring attacks, which are mostly used for multiplayer, and I have no idea why they decided to keep those for 06. Yes, just have a weapon which makes it so it's difficult to differentiate from what you use for your health. Bravo. Obviously, Krem doesn't have that particular issue because she's armed with the most powerful weapon in the series, an Angry Chow. Once again, these flappers just exist for homing attack fodder. Well, that's power plant's already done. You can kind of see why I saved this one for last. We can just breeze through all the levels we already went through. Oh. I was about to say, it's time for the funny moments again. But I guess we have more emeralds to catch. How many are we gonna collect this time, even though we technically got all of them already? Thank you, Team Chaotix. That didn't take too long at all. I will say, I definitely do like the aesthetics of these special stages. I think I'm just a big sucker for these old sort of weird-looking water textures. This game is full of them. It's like an evolution of the... Oh.
Gotcha, my darling Sonic.
Oh, not this again, Amy. You totally gotta come back and read my tower readings. You're totally like a month away. You're a month late for your next appointment, Sonic.
Amy, knock it off. There's no time to play.
Yeah, I'm sick of your tower readings, Amy. Last time you told me that apparently I was supposedly gonna find out some interesting new discoveries about my body. No idea what you meant by that. Oh, it's over already.
Where are you?
13 seconds.
Let's
I suppose Amy really is as powerful as they say. Oh yes, just spend time playing the pinball tables, it's fine. It really is like Amy, it's like, oh, I'm depressed about getting bumped off again. Time to go gambling!
I can't believe he did that just so he could get away. Mr. Sonic must be really... nothing.
Yeah, I don't think the voice acting really conveys it there, but that was like one of those other moments where Cream just said some snide comments and Amy was ready to just murder her on the spot, because that's what Amy does. She's that unhinged, and honestly, I really do kind of enjoy that about her. Just... and a lot of people don't really like stuff like her portrayal in X for how sort of over-the-top she is, but honestly, given that this series is comprised mostly of, I'm just gonna say, cartoon characters, I kind of feel that's fine in all honesty, and generally speaking, it just makes her more entertaining as opposed to under Ian's writing where she's just kind of boring. That's the main thing, really. Just at the end of the day, I think a lot of people have already come out and said this, but Amy's characterization nowadays just feels boring. Amy, for the last time, I'm not watching the Marvels with you. But you gotta, like, show your support, Sonic. I'm not interested in Marvel, Amy. It should have ended in Endgame. No, Sonic, you can't, like, say that kind of stuff anymore. Sonic! And then she gets bumped off again. Oh yes. Everybody's heads are spinning. Tails, Amy, Creme. I think Rouge just... nothing but spinning heads here. I can't remember as to whether Amy and Team Rose can actually visit the VIP table. I'm probably not going to stick around to find out, though. We got places to be. Oh! I could have sworn I made it there, and look at this! Now we're stuck here. Big. Well, you made it, so I guess we'll just go up here and... there's not even any enemies to use the Team Blast on. What a waste. What a disappointment. My disappointment is immeasurable. We go down here. Oh no, it's a whole 2 robots. What could we possibly do? I mean, obviously saying, even if this was Team Sonic's particular sort of playthroughs, Team Rose would obviously, in my honest opinion, still blitz through that just because of the Team Blast. Just, oh boy, free invincibility. And a power type that doesn't careen off the edge at every single opportunity.
Super happy.
Oh yes, just try the bingo slides. Just Amy hanging out with the old people again. She's gone back to the old folks' home. She's honestly, I kind of see at least IDW Amy being the sort who would go and just volunteer at like a community center for old people and just host bingo tournaments, just like good old Jimmy McGill with his whole Chicago sunroof incident. I mean, obviously, I don't imagine Amy in any way, sense, or form performing a Chicago sunroof, but you know what I mean. This is gonna be a short stream. Well, you never know. Because we still got a little bit to go after we've done with Team Rose. If you looked at the thumbnail. Obviously, they've, oh. Big doesn't even know what bingo is. Which, I mean, fair, he lives in the jungle. He wasn't even raised in a barn, so... honestly, that kind of checks out for me. Just... I still find that kind of funny, just like, what's bingo? Matt Damon! Yeah, I still get a laugh out of Big's just sort of derpy voice. Then again, who doesn't? Just, it's a very easy voice to emulate. Even if you have a bajillion chins. Come on, get up there. Oh boy, we're up to these sort of antics again. Them bingo boys are at it again. I think this might actually be the longest Team Rose level, mostly just because of the pinball antics. I mean, that kind of checks out in all honesty, just the longest part of Team Rose is just dealing with stuff that's out of your control. That's, that kind of checks out. Come on! We're almost free! I think maybe I should just be a little bit lighter on the... There we go. A little bit lighter on the control stick. And once again, just more free level ups. Get Creme on it. I'm not even sure if I should really point out the camera angles anymore, because it's obviously going to be that blatant. Let's just say I can see why some artists get various ideas with these characters. That's all I'll say on the matter, I can kind of see why people would want, a redesign of at least Amy. I wouldn't mind seeing, like, a, modern iteration of her classic attire in an official setting, just like with the orange skirt and everything. Because I feel that particular sort of Amy is more sort of in line with, what I think most people see in Amy, just the more girly character who will absolutely flatten you with a berserker hammer. Like, that one short in Superstars, I think was like one of the best interpretations of Amy we've gotten in at least in this corporate setting. I mean, obviously there's Murder Up, which everybody points to as being a good example, and yeah, I definitely say so, because at the very least there she actually acknowledges her romantic feelings. As that was arguably the whole point of Amy's character to begin with, to be the Minnie to Sonic's Mickey. Something that I've noticed as well with Rouge. With both Amy and Rouge, they were both designed to sort of be romantic foils to male characters, Amy to Sonic and Rouge to Knuckles, and then you take out that romantic element and all of a sudden those characters don't really have anything to them. It's like you just ripped the core out and just threw in some little sort of cheap key jangling as a substitute.
Super duper happy.
It's kind of depressing when you think of it that way, just... That was an element of these characters I think a lot of us genuinely liked, and now it's gone. It's like one of those things where we didn't really know how good we had it, really. And... I've been thinking for a little bit as well, just... Whilst I do definitely concede that this series is for kids, mainly young boys. One thing which I'll come to note as from my wherewithal, one thing that kids hate the most is being treated like kids. And I think that was something that the Sonic series kind of excelled at least in part with games like Adventure 2, Black Knight, Secret Rings and such, where there's actually some substance to them, and they can go into those darker elements without them being too overt. There's a balance. It's like you got Secret Rings with the abusive relationship between Eraser, Jin, and Shara, and then you got Black Knight with Merlina's existential crisis, and then you got Adventure 2 with Shadow. Just everything about Shadow. And I can kind of see why, in this more sort of corporatized era, they want to steer away from that, just because, you know, corporations tend to be rather risk-averse. But I suppose in a way I kind of feel because of stuff like that, I feel more comfortable in just not really engaging in the new stuff if it doesn't really look all that good to me. Because I got all this stuff from my childhood that I still enjoy, and I can just go back to it, and I guess that's more sort of a problem for these more recent games, where they have to really struggle for my attention, because it really feels as though, in terms of competition, these older games are like the best are like the hottest competition for these newer Sonic games, because you gotta obviously a lot of them aren't the most accessible now, but even still, the ones that are still accessible, they're still pretty good. Obviously not exactly the best porting jobs imaginable, but still generally quite good, and these newer games have to contend with those.
Here we go! Great job!
Get out of here, you. Oh yeah, slight little blunder here on Robotnik's part.
Don't get too excited, boys. Those were the easy ones.
There are two girls in this team, Robotnik. Who's the other boy aside from Big on this team? Is it Amy? Is she hiding something from us?
Man, there sure were lots of them.
I can't say at this point I would be surprised. Would actually give Amy something interesting to chew onto, though I imagine that a lot of fans wouldn't exactly be happy about that. Go beyond the rails, whatever that means. It's just like sharing your love with the world. Hey, I'm not judging! Even though I'm supposedly a womanizer. I suppose that does sort of make sense, considering one of them may or may not actually be a woman. Yeah, for some reason, the longest time, this just sort of stuck with me. Just like, I know it's more sort of a stock. Big, what are you doing? Big! How are you maintaining your balance, man? This is more unhinged than your cameos in Adventure 2. And here we are, of course, in good old Rail Canyon. I still feel this is one of my favorite levels back when I was playing this game, but then again, I mostly just played the Team Rose, the Team Rose levels as a kid, mostly just because, again, for someone like me, they were the most digestible. Big and cheese. Yeah, let's go with that, even though I'm not entirely certain as to what the whole deal with chows are anyway. I mean, I don't think they have reproductive organs. They just sort of smush their faces together for a bit, and all of a sudden an egg appears. I know they had to sort of make it sort of a kid-friendly breeding exercise, but still. And I'm guessing we're just gonna say Cheese is a boy, and I guess that just sort of makes everything alright. That's at least what I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with the safe option here. As I flub over my words once more. Get out of here, you. Oh boy, it's not as though I could easily just bypass this. You know what, let's go back and actually test this real quick. Can I bypass this with Amy? Uh-huh. Yeah. It's kind of one of those awkward moments where you kind of render the flight-type character kind of pointless in most situations. Same with Pokemon, they just don't talk about it? Yeah. But then again, in Pokemon it happens off-screen, so it's sort of left to your imagination, but with Chow you just see it, they just sort of smush their faces together and an egg appears. Whatever the implications of that are supposed to be. Also, not entirely certain how this is supposed to increase your grind speed. Also, I'm fairly certain the soles of Amy's shoes are melted and her glove should be on fire from the friction. It should be just like Anakin at the end of Revenge of the Sith. I suppose it is a a bit of a disturbing thought now you think about it, Amy Vader. I'm like totally her mother and stuff? That's impossible! Like, search your feelings and stuff. What am I doing? No! You can, like, totally destroy the Emperor. Anyways. That's Rail Canyon. Oh, no.
We're like awesome.
But then again, considering the voice modulation, she would probably sound like Judi Dench. Probably one of those people who says VOT isn't all that great and is a fan of the sequel. I mean, true. So in that case, I'll let totally finish what you started. She would really be the most... She would be like the second biggest Raylo in the world. Behind Kathleen... Oh, that's embarrassing. Yeah, she would just be like the second biggest Raylo in the world. Behind Kathleen Kennedy. Honestly, I kind of feel that she would just disavow the entirety of Star Wars after The Rise of Rey. Just on the basis that Kylo Ren was dead, and that was the only character she cared about. Whereas with Heroes Amy, she'd probably just be Padme, sticking by Sonic's side even though he'd slaughter a whole bunch of women and children. I slaughtered them like animals! Oh dear. TLJ is her favorite, wonder why. Yeah, exactly. Just, she really gets a lot of the themes as she stares hungrily at Adam Driver's pecs. No, there isn't. Mega Man games be like. Yeah, I could definitely see Heroes Amy really being a big fan of Anakin and Padme's dynamic, even though it's not all that great, at least in the movies. I mean, I'd say at least it's better in the Revenge of the Sith novel. Then again, that's not really saying much. Everything in the Revenge of the Sith novel was better. Aside from maybe the final fight on Mustafar, I kind of feel that the movie did that a bit more justice. It's like the movie didn't even have the funny high ground line. One of my favorite things to come from that movie is still the image of Ben Swallow, yeah. Like the one redeeming quality of that entire movie. That's in the memes of Leia Poppins. It's like, here's the villain of the trilogy. I mean, either that or it's just Palpy again, and honestly I kind of feel, despite The Rise of Rey, after sitting through, the Revenge of the Sith novel again, I think Palpy might actually be my favorite Star Wars character at this point. It's just, that novelization... George Lucas, I'm pretty sure, said at one point that Palpatine was the closest thing in the Star Wars series to Le Devil, El Diablo Satan. The novel really sort of convinces you of that, just with how good the man had to plan.
Awesome.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not gonna count Rise of Rey because I haven't seen it. I just heard that apparently Palpy comes back and basically just does the Dark Empire storyline but worse. Yeah, that's the main thing I've really heard about Rise of Rey, in all honesty, aside from the stupid dagger thing. And, of course, Rey just, stealing the entirety of the Skywalker legacy. Just the fact that the basic plot line, aside from all the various fetch quests, is basically just the Dark Empire, but worse. We have a clone of Palpatine and a Star Destroyer, which has a Death Star laser attached to it. All that stuff is in Dark Empire, except I'm pretty sure Dark Empire is better at the very least, even though it's kind of feels, from what I've heard, disjointed from the rest of the extended universe. We're here already.
Something weird in there. Jeez, you'll be reunited with Chocola.
Froggy, who?
Let's get him before Sonic does. Then he'll be head over heels for me.
There you see, she's still trying to encourage... It's like she's still well-meaning and wanting to encourage her friends, but it's in a very selfish lens, and I kind of feel that people should be more kind of accepting of that in characters, just, flaws, really. I mean, then again, I suppose the alternative would be something like Ironheart, where it's glorifying criminal behavior. It's like, pick your poison, I suppose. It's like, from what I've heard at the very least, Ironheart is just, detestable. But then again, I don't think that was necessarily a surprise. I don't think anybody necessarily wanted an Ironheart show, and yet we got one anyway. How dare. Yeah, I said that I wasn't gonna say much about Ironheart, just so I wasn't walking on eggshells the whole time, but I think that's the most I'm gonna get away with saying. Yeah, that went by fairly quickly. Alright, get over here, Robotnik. Get over here, Robotnik. You even here, I'm still referring to him as that. Just, I feel as though the whole OVA shtick I've been going on has just sort of rotted my brain a little bit. Then again, I always sort of preferred the name Robotnik, to be perfectly honest. Just, I feel that Eggman worked better like it did in Adventure 1, where it was more of just an insult, a nickname, as opposed to just his actual name. Because at the very least, Robotnik sounds like it could actually be a name, but then again, I'm pretty sure Gaylord is a surname, so take that as you will. Just spam the homing attack. The most strategic move I could ever do here. Just... It even has a minigun. There we go. Never like this personality trait. She's still infatuated after CED. They turn up to... I mean, I get that people didn't like how it was sort of the only thing Amy had going for it, but I still miss when it was a character aspect of Amy in the first place. Is what I'm trying to get at. Just compared to Frontiers, where she's boring. Conflict. Oh no. Amy, what are you doing that hand motion for?
Stupid copy.
Froggy, where are you? Let's go.
Yeah, I also gotta miss how fired up she gets a lot of times. Just that was one of the more entertaining things about her and X as well. She's just how easily she just fly off the handle and go into a berserker rage. Just, I think I made this joke before in Frontiers. It really feels as though she changed jobs from warrior to astrologian for the 14 players in the chat. Look at that, even when the team is low on hope, Amy still brings them together to carry on and continue the fight. Now we have to explore the forest. Because who cares about keeping a low profile? Okay. I don't think this was... I'm just gonna restart. No Neomel here. Yeah. I do kind of like that. It's just like with the harder missions, you get more and more insight into the actual story. It's like with the Chaotix, for suffering through that, you get the whole twist that, oh, Robotnik's not even the head of the operation, and with Team Sonic and Team Dark, it's like, oh, Metal's somehow involved somehow. Feels like T1000 here just say something like, this was a pointless endeavor, I got nothing out of these three. Well, you know, I'm pretty sure he shows up later on. It's sort of like a little teaser. I would still say this is probably my favorite level in the game, though, personally saying, just... Aside from the bottomless pits, this just feels like one of the most chill levels, to be perfectly honest. Just... This is a level I would generally like to hang out in. Though hopefully none of the mushrooms are poisonous, so... I guess be careful what you wish for. Yeah, I kind of feel that a lot of people just forget that, Metal Sonic could just easily become a T-1000. He should, in theory, just be the most powerful character in the series, and, then you see how IDW treats him. Or more specifically, how Flynn treats him. Also kind of weird that you can't really glide after jumping off a spring. Feels like it should be an obvious thing. Also, yeah. With Amy's projectile, I think she's one of the only ones who can actually trigger the flower to fly without immediately getting onto it, for what that's worth. Just gonna jump off here for the extra 1-up. This team is so... Yeah, exactly. This is the baby team for babies. The reason I left it for last is just because there's extra stuff in the game for us to do afterwards. And look at that, the level's already over. Not even 3 minutes. How am I supposed to get the $3,000 for beating a Bonesaw Now game? What's that? You missed the part where that's your problem? How about I make it a problem? Yes, like totally awesome. Oh, I kind of ruined the day when I thought doing this whole Valley Girl thing was a good idea. Oh no, we had to escape the jungle. How could this have possibly happened? Also, even in Team Rose's case, you still get to encounter the Egg Hammer here. I guess it is really just, they thought, yeah, this seems like the best point in time to introduce this, endgame enemy. Unfortunately, can't bypass this, this evil frog. What am I saying? He may not be evil. Good is the point of view, Anakin. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised that Team Rose still has these, spiked, flappers around here as well. I would have thought that it would be a little bit too difficult for Team Rose, but I guess, they figured they'd take off one of the training wheels at the very least. Oh, and they even have just a platform here, so you don't just fall off immediately. Very nice game, very nice. I don't think I've actually gotten the opportunity to find a key here. I mean, not that it matters, but I would like to do. Oh no! I'm not entirely certain of those... Alright, I think those might be called flappers. I don't remember most of the actual bad nicknames in Heroes, to be perfectly honest. I think one of these is a flapper. I know at the very least the egg pawns. They're like the easiest one to identify. I think Amy having a crush was bad as to the way it was being portrayed, the borderline unhinged. Part of me does kind of like the unhinged stuff, to be perfectly honest. It's just entertaining. Which is sort of kind of what I feel is the main point for these more sort of cartoony characters. But with regards to the Stalker's tendencies, I feel that's more sort of hyperbole. That's one of the things which I feel was something people joked about back in the late 2000s, and it's just something that's sort of been iterated on so many times as just sort of been conflated as the truth. Like the whole Sonic kissing a human thing from 06, even though he was dead the whole time and couldn't possibly have done it. We'll absolutely agree she had basically no personality. Yeah, exactly. And I don't think she's gonna have any personality in this next game either. It's also hilarious she literally manifests the spirit Sonic to fight alongside her in battle with how cracked she is over him. I mean, yeah, that's the main thing though. You may not like it, but it is, at the very least, entertaining. She's just generally just a fun character to watch, I'd say. And I feel that's sort of part of the appeal, just If I feel there's one word which can really encapsulate Amy, it would be passion. She puts passion into everything she does, even... Which I suppose is something you can really make a good use of. I think a good sort of comparison here would be, I suppose, going into more recent stuff. Ragatha. Frontiers, yeah. Even not no personality where she abruptly dropped the infatuation on started fixating in love in general from... No, that was just Flynn. It was a bit more nuanced in the Japanese dub, where, as far as I'm aware, Amy was sort of re-evaluating her relationship on Sonic and wondering... Oh, here, never mind, hold that thought.
Excuse me, man.
Hey, Cream, would you mind if I went on a date with Vanilla?
About a date, it'll have to wait.
Oh, come on, you little brat. You can't just leave me high and dry here. You can't just stand up for little Goyle. I'll just try to pass on a message. And Charmy, you stay out of this. We're a peaceful bunch. We're a peaceful, Christian-loving bunch. There's no need for us to get violent here. Right, SPO? Boss, you're coming on a bit strong.
Gotta be a major misunderstanding here.
Yeah, obviously SPO has to be the straight man here. Also, for some reason, this particular boss fight I remember being super difficult for me. Oh, never mind, it's already over. I remember that boss fight being particularly difficult for me for some reason when I was a kid. Probably just because I didn't realize spamming Tornado Hammer was the way to go.
But there's no time for this.
Anyways, yeah. And the Japanese version, Amy is a bit more sort of re-evaluating her relationship on Sonic and questioning whether it's necessarily the best idea to just sort of jump headfirst into danger for the sake of her love when it could potentially risk hurting them both. I guess it was more just sort of a case of her maturing, actually, as opposed to whatever Ian was trying to do because he can't write Amy. Or Sonic, for that matter. There you see, she's still acting as the dedicated leader. Running headfirst into danger. I'm just trying to point out that Heroes Amy at the very least does have redeeming qualities. And as such I don't think it's as bad as people make her out to be. Nonsense, SPO, her daughter is here. May as well ask if she didn't get my 120 effort messages from Moby Space. Oh. No idea what's going on here. Just about to say, I think something was going on with my controller there. Or maybe it's just the game, because I feel as though this game and Hero and SA2 as well kind of been gaslighting me for the longest time, thinking there was something wrong with my controller, because for whatever reason it would just occasionally just count 2 rapid A presses, even though I made just 1. Charmy knew they were wrong and instigated that fight anyway. Well, he's Charmy. It's just what he usually does. He has brain damage. He has the attention span of your average TikTok user. Or even worse. Boss, you know no one uses that anymore. Oh yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if there actually was some kind of resurgence of MySpace at some point. Just people trying to relive the good old days before the nightmare that was Twitter. Unintentional turbo. Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure if it's just this game, but I can't help but feel as though I've been gaslit to the point where I figured, oh, you know, getting a new controller probably would be a good idea, but it's the same on here as this is on the actual hardware, so I guess it's just a game problem. Also, weirdly enough, I don't think we've actually encountered any steel enemies, armored enemies on the Team Rose run. I guess I figured that was a little bit too much, asking you to just switch over to Big. Yeah, I do definitely quite like the placement of this gold ring at the very least. Feels particularly spooky and unnatural. I don't know, those things on the wall that kind of remind me of like something out of Majora's Mask. If you leave in MySpace as a shot to come back and after recent events, the way Blue Sky actually managed to find a foothold. Well, yeah, but as far as I'm aware, Blue Sky is in the process of self-destructing, so... maybe my space might fill the void? Who knows? Anyways, we're in space now. Just saying, I really do like how stylized a lot of these, special stages actually looks, and I'm pretty certain this is actually just the same layout. The only real difference is, Act 2 ones just have the Emerald Challenge in them. I don't know, just feels like sort of in the GameCube dimension a little bit with all these geometric shapes just flying around in space. I think generally speaking as well, I do have a lot of fondness for this particular special stage as well, with stuff like SEGA Superstar to the iToy, and obviously Nocturne in the Olympic Winter Games, where that also showed up. Just oh yeah, it also appeared in Generations 3DS, didn't it? I should probably try that one out as well at some point. Also, yeah, I think I'm about to lose and die. Yep, this is a bit of a waste. These guys just Twitter for the other crazes that's neither here. Or, as some might say, the original crazes. Sure feels like it was some of the stuff I've seen on there. I mean, it's fair to just use them for art, but then again, for affinity. I'm pretty sure there's various different alternatives for if we're just looking for art.
Okay,
I don't know, it kind of feels like these are the only two, this is the only team that actually has, proper dialogue for, entering Mystic Mansion, but I'm pretty sure, that's the case for all of them, at the very least for Team Dark. Now here's a switch. Hello, Sans. Yeah, I think this was also my first introduction to Mystic Mansion as well, and honestly, this really became one of the most memorable missions for me. You know, before it was sort of sullied by the whole Red Torches incident of, 2004. Where the prospect of giant spiders and, other such things never even crossed my mind. Some artists don't use one option or... Yeah, I suppose it is a little bit annoying, especially in my case, when some artists are only using Twitter and Blue Sky, and it's just like, how else am I supposed to contact you to ask about artwork and such, when I don't use Twitter? I suppose it is just one of those sort of double-edged swords about keeping off of the sort of main social network, social media sort of sites. Some front page recommends some stuff about artists follow me, some cool... Oh, that's neat at the very least. Oh, they actually have lasers on these minecart sections. At least I'm calling them minecarts, because, well, it looks miney enough in here. Oh, goody! I just keep defaulting back to, just funny big voice when I really should be just trying to, default to the Duke Nukem voice. I was like, oh, goody. Easy, just make a tweet, but I don't want to make a tweet, sir. That's the thing. Also, yeah, I like in Team Rose's thing that there's just a door here. For immersion purposes. I also like the sort of optics of just you go through this door and there's just a storming graveyard outside or something. It would be cool to see a metal team that includes Metal Sonic and his metal derivatives. I think that might have been a thing at one point, or at the very least I'm pretty sure there was the fakes in this game, which is what the Metal Virus was inspired by. Stop Twitter. In all seriousness though, on desktop I'm using an extension that blocks out a lot of, well, let's say the less desirable stuff. Well, it's nice that those sort of things exist, at the very least. But then again, at the same time, Twitter and Blue Sky are pretty much pay to play at this point, so I'm not entirely certain if it'll be worth it. Also, yeah, we've gotten like 6 for 6 on Chaos Emeralds. So if we didn't have all the emeralds before this stream, we definitely do have now, because I do definitely remember getting the last emerald on the Chaotic stream.
Mustache monkey, you tip-top pulling.
I do kind of find that funny about how she just calls him a monkey. Is that kind of racist?
Give back, Froggy. Get that.
When you think of it like that? I don't think they necessarily meant it like that, but it's one of those things where you have to stop and think, just like, what did they mean by that in the context of here and now? It's probably nothing. I'm just gonna go with that, considering the whole social media thing. It's probably nothing. It's nothing to worry about. Shut up. Let me taste some chili dog. Yeah, I've had a chili dog in the past. It's definitely been something I've enjoyed in the past as well. I think I remember at some point having a chili dog with, like, nacho toppings on it. Like, at least crushed nachos and I think sour cream. I remember that being pretty good. I don't remember if it was guacamole, but I think guacamole would have gone nice on there. He boils down to just some people you follow and stuff you post. I mean, yeah, but I kind of also am worried about if I do venture into the lion's den that is Twitter, I may not come out again. Just... I imagine just there's a lot of people who just sort of waste their lives on all these places like Twitter, and I'm not entirely certain I really want to dedicate myself to that. I need to cook one chili dog. Well, I mean, it's not the most difficult. It's just make hot dog, make chili, add other stuff onto it like onion, and sour cream, cheese, guacamole. Yeah, just generally, I don't feel that social media is necessarily going to be the healthiest thing for me in the long run, which is kind of why I feel happier than I probably should be. Anyways, here we are. We've made it to Le Egg Fleet. Doom scrolling on occasion. Yeah, I don't want to end up doom scrolling. That's the main thing. I don't want to be a doom scroll. I want to be happy. Hey, Cinnamon, we were just about to wrap up Team Rosa's story. I mean, you gotta say, she's definitely come a long way, at least from CD, where she's actively just raiding a battle fleet. Like, you can say what you want about her being unhinged, but nowadays she was still pretty capable, if I do say so myself. I would go as far to say that this version of Amy might actually be a good female character, where she's actually got flaws. There's a little bit of nuance at the very least, in the fact that, you know, she means well, and obviously has drive and passion, but of course is very flawed in that drive and passion. And is still supportive of others in the meantime. You see what I mean? Doom scrolling on Twitter.com! It's more likely than you think. To think that whole thing just came off of a joke about Twitter. Come on, hold still, you devil. There you go. Still my least favorite enemies to fight in the game, if I'm gonna be brutally honest. Ooh, there's a shield here. I'll happily take that. Scroll. Yeah, exactly. Just spend up scrolling doom scrolling for an entire hour, and it's just like, what else could I be doing with that time? Probably just scrolling on Discord, admittedly, but nobody's perfect. That would just mean, for me, another hour on top of just spending way too much time just hoping something interesting crops up on the various Discords I'm on. It's like you can't win. I like how this is like the only time where it doesn't mention, oh, you should probably move up and down to avoid the cannon shots. It's like you just spend the entire time just sort of being entirely stationary. Maybe he just has a lot of time on his hands. I really do miss a lot of these snide comments from Cream, admittedly. Just really one of those things that made her a fair bit more memorable. How blunt she could be. How long Doomstorm is a bit insane, but, you know, time can certainly fly when you're not paying attention.
Let's try landing on that giant battleship. We can shoot those cannons and let their shoot.
Yeah, we could destroy the cannons, or we could just run past them. No need to slow down or anything. Bop, bop. Oh, I think this is actually the first time we've encountered one of these unique things where it's a cannon where you body slam on it and it raises up. I think those were also in the Chaotix version of this level, but we didn't necessarily interact with them at all. It's like, you got this whole level mechanic for this one team to go for this one particular version of the level. Okay. You'll do this. Yeah, just, I'd hate to be in school nowadays when more people are just spending all their time just on Twitter rather than looking at their, rather than actually making notes. And then again, I was never actually all that good myself, but it must have only gotten worse in the meantime. I can imagine that, a lot of people aren't necessarily going to be really investing much in public schooling in the near future, just because of results just plummeting over time. Like, apparently 4th graders nowadays can't even read.
Here we are.
Well, here we are, and alright, already off to a good start. Around Sonic can go for whatever reason. I'm sure she'd pick up some interesting vocabulary, especially from Shadow, allegedly, because Shadow the Hedgehog has just made it so, oh, Shadow just swears like a sailor constantly. Okay. Here we are. Let's go meet the ultimate life form, Specimen ID886. Yeah, I want to see if I can actually make it over to that grind rail. Camera, can you please? Camera! Camera! Why have you betrayed me? So at least now we have AI to blend brains into mush. Oh, so yeah, that is also a genuine issue, how most people just cheat on their exams and such with ChatGPT. I feel as though at this point there really needs to be re-evaluation on how education works, because it feels as though the more Victorian system doesn't necessarily work for people with no attention spans. Nah, Shadow wouldn't swear around kids. I mean, Rouge probably would. Knuckles probably would. Considering he has basically no social skills. Charmy probably would. Sean would have probably just picked it up from all the various Fortnite streamers he watched before that became unpopular. Because it's all about the political hot takes now. Nobody cares about video games anymore. Not even the ultimate life form would be dumb enough to invoke Vanilla's wrath. I'm pretty sure some people would disagree with you there. Also, I like the fact that you don't even bother with the yellow E2000s here, or the helmeted egg hammers. It's just a standard egg hammer here. And it's like, oh, we should probably use Team Blast on this thing, even though we don't have to. Then you have a look over at Team Sonic just throwing 3 egg hammers at you at once, and it's just like, oh no. Also, what exactly is that sound effect Amy's making whenever she jumps off one of those? Yeah, these lines from Cream are great. It's just like one of these things where I kind of miss the prospect of her being like arguably part of the main cast, because generally speaking, I've missed a fair bit of her commentary. It's just, she's a fun foible for the very unhinged Amy, which I suppose makes sense considering she is supposed to be the Tails to Amy's Sonic. Cream is a polite snark. Yeah, exactly. And as such, I relate to her immensely, because many would argue I'm also a polite snark. No self-destruct switch here. All there is just a fan, but apparently it explodes anyway. She'll say something really snide in the most sincere and kind way possible. Yeah! She would. Oh, she said the thing! She said the thing! It's just like Flynn mentioning Rail Canyon or whatever at any given opportunity. Oh, actually the spikes here. Ooh. Daring today, aren't we, game? Alright, let's see what's up here. Would be funny if you could just continue past this point, but I'm not entirely certain you can, so I guess we'll just finish the level. They did the thing, yeah. It's just like in the modern stories. It just... Gee, Lois, this reminds me of when we were back on the egg carrier. Sega hired this, oh wait. Again, Ian Flynn, the Dave Filoni of the Sonic franchise. Alright, let's at least try and get the final emerald. We don't necessarily have to, but we shall try nonetheless. Oh, we're still just constantly sphere short. Oh no. I can taste it, we're close. At least we were close. Yeah, I think I botched it. It's fine though, we already got this emerald. It's no problem, it's no biggie. I'm not at all worried. Also, it really feels as though they really front-loaded you with all the mine... Oh, never mind. I was to say, they really front-loaded you with all those. Oh, they actually have little trap gateways here. Ooh, daring game. Obviously, I don't think we're gonna get this one, but... Well, we're here anyway, so we may as well try... Game! You betrayed me! Okay, we got it anyway. How about neither? Yeah. I'd agree. Just because Flynn is an upgrade from Penders or Tack and Graph, it's not really saying much in the grand scheme of things. It's like going from an F- to an E. Oh, she's straight up going to rip out his entrails. Anyways, here we are again with the Egg Emperor, arguably the easiest version of the fight, so... We know how this goes at this point. There's not even any enemies here. So we don't have to worry about that, we just have to worry about, getting over there. Take this, take this, take this! Your missiles mean nothing to me, Robotnik. It's over, Robotnik, I have the high ground. Yes, we're doing this bit again, because there's no reason for me not to. Get in there, Big. Watch that health bar drop. It is already over, Robotnik. Oh, I took damage, apparently.
Hang on, Thuggy.
Anyways, yay! Team Rosa's storyline is over. That's all 4, and we already got all the emeralds. I didn't have to worry a single thing.
Stop being bad.
If only. That's the whole thing about IDW Sonic. Just Will you pretty please stop being bad one day, Robotnik? No. And there you go. There's Metal Sonic, technically, just in that puddle. And nobody cares. And we all laugh and the credits roll.
Hey, isn't that Mr. Sonic over there?
I like how she just immediately perks up when Amy mentions Sonic. It's like neuron activation. Also, I guess the ending of this and Team Sonic storyline implies that there were just 4 Egg Emperors milling about. At least that's the assumption I got. Anyways, Team Rose. Main game designer Shiro Maikawa, please come back one day. I get what people mean when they say that Amy is kind of Sonic obsessive in this game, but at the same time, I feel at the same time, as I've probably already mentioned, Yoga people at the same time. Yeah, exactly. That's how easy that boss can be when you abuse mechanics. Generally speaking, I don't find Amy in this game as bad as everybody says. Just part of me kind of feels that her more obsessive tendencies are overblown by the audience perception of what they remember of this game, mostly in a half-joking manner, as was the case back in the late 2000s. But at the same time, she still has redeeming qualities. Just actually being a good leader and keeping Cream and Big from giving up, even after getting flummoxed by the Egg Albatross. I think I'm generally I kind of feel you do that a lot, though. You know what, Vel? Challenge me. I challenge you. Come up with something I may disagree on. Definitely prefer this over boring toll. Yeah, exactly. It's just a case of we don't know how good we had it. Like a lot of things in this series. Anyways, yeah, I challenge you to think of something that I might disagree with. Go on. Whilst the credits are rolling. Do it. Do it for me. Alright, I'll give you time as we just... I kind of find it funny how this particular song is basically just an Amy theme as opposed to Team Dark and all the other teams, which are all about, oh hey, here's what all the team members do, and here is the whole modus operandi of teamwork, whereas here it's all about Amy. Most Sonic stuff you do. Well, yeah, because we hang out all the time. That should be pretty obvious, I'd reckon. Final yeah. Seems though we're going that route. Super hard mode stream? I'm not certain I want to do super hard mode, to be perfectly honest. I guess, still kind of mortified out of that super hard mode Shadow Reloaded stream I tried to do and failed miserably, so I may need to go through this at some point to see if it's actually doable, but at the same time, probably just gonna be thinking more about what I'm gonna be streaming next. More chapters soon. Well, if only. Because I know that Mighty and Ray were initially planned for this game, along with Team Hooligan. Could you imagine that? An actual modern Bark the Polar Bear. 100 subs first. Oh, if only. Anyways, that's all 4 teams completed, technically, so let's move on to the last story. Oh yeah, Omochao gives an explanation of all the teams. Let's have a look.
Team Sonic features high-speed gameplay and intense team action.
Very good, Omochao. It just sounds like you just spit out the back of the box.
Team Dark stages are more difficult and recommended for the intermediate players.
See, that's some stuff that I could actually comprehend.
Team Rose is recommended for those who are new to action games.
Action games? You mean like Devil May Cry? Oh, unique is an understatement. Anyways, it's time for the ultimate Sonic jobber. The real protagonist.
conquer the world.
I mean, he was going to conquer the world anyway, but it was. Oh, who could it possibly be? Leave him alone, he's trying his best. Oh, here we go again. The closest thing to an evil Sonic. Your life is nothing. You serve zero purpose. You should game end yourselves now. Yay, doing the old jokes. I kind of feel it's compulsory to do it every time the scene crops up. Oh, how horrible. He's doing a Sailor Moon transformation. So Meteon's influence spreads this far. I mean, granted, I don't think Meteon's gonna have that much effect on me. As I've made the joke before, I'm used to living in the utmost deepest despair. I live in Britain. Yep, still going. Nothing outlasts the Energizer battery. It just keeps going and going and going. He does the Sailor Moon swirl. And all of a sudden he's a Drogon. He's a Doggin. And of course all we have is egg pawns. What the hell did Metal do to himself? I like Neo Metal. Yeah, it's kind of a shame we don't get to fight him. If only we had the 7 Chaos Emeralds! Oh, you mean these? These things that we just picked off the side of the road? We found these in a Cracker Jack box!
Even with the emerald's power, our chances for victory are slim. It would take a miracle. Just leave it.
Well, that's a good thing I'm here, Robotnik.
I'm going with you too.
You can count me in too.
Knuckles?
We'll buy you some time. That way you can use your superpower.
I know I have a super form, but I don't feel like using it this time around.
Okay then, let's get ready to do this. We'll show that creep the real superpower of teamwork.
It's still as bad as I remember. The real superpower of teamwork. A memorable line in how bad it is, and again, I'm fairly certain, hold up. Yeah, they just give you free Team Blast with Team Rose. The big thing. You like totally pay for this in your blood. Your oily blood, Metal Sonic. Again, though, I'm just gonna say in terms of Metal Sonic, I kind of feel my favorite version of Metal Sonic, or at least the one I'd say where Metal Sonic peaked, was in the OVA. Just generally my favorite interpretation of Metal Sonic is Hyper Metal Sonic. It's just like that, where it was the most perceived to be a threat, if that makes sense. Oh, look at that. Charmy, you can't just go calling people freaks. It's just more of Charmy's blaspheming. You can't bring him anywhere. He's just a complete menace in any public setting. Blood, blood. I was about to say, is SBO trapped in one of these crystal spears? Also, yeah, I think this is the first time we actually get the crystal spear attack, which just traps all your friends in it. Also, I have no idea why they give you speed power cores to this section, considering, as far as I'm aware, speed characters are kind of useless in this boss fight, considering the range difference. You're just likely to homing attack once and then just plummet to your death. Music sounds like it's out of Unleashed. I wonder where they got the inspiration. Just you wait, just you wait. I'm going to turn this around at any second now.
Consuming power of others at your own will. And that's supposed to make
Well, I mean, he definitely did it with Sonic's life data in the OVA, and he was... it's Reno's FF7 triangle prism. That's definitely a comparison. That's also Ryan Drummond, the voice of Sonic, by the way. I don't know, for some reason I never really liked the English voice for Metal Sonic in this game. Then again, I'm not entirely... Metal Sonic, I would say, has never really had that much of a good voice actor up until, like, Shadgen. Then again, he just makes a whole bunch of beeping and booping noises after this game. You might know everything I'm... Oh. It's time! Yeah, it really is a shame we didn't get, like, a one-on-one Team Sonic fight against Neo Metal before he turned into the Doggin. It's like... It would have been cool if this was more of sort of a free-phase fight, in all honesty. At least that's just my thought. Anyways, we've just been standing here this whole time. We better put our weight in. We better chip in. Voice in Shadgen is great. Same with Memphis. Yeah, I'd say so. Tails, why are you in a bubble? Knuckles, why are you in a bubble? Are you supposed to be like pink or something? Whatever. Let's just go fight Metal. It's time we... It's time we do this whole song and dance once again. Let's do this, Metal. Somehow it always ends like this. OVA Metal didn't do much, but poop until very... Yeah, exactly. But at least he was threatening, unlike in IDW. Anyways, this whole thing is just about boosting up your team gauge. You homing attack these crystals with the awesome music in the background. Also, I do kind of like at the very least how the teams sort of get upgraded versions. It's like they're level 4. Anyways, let's get... This song is great, exactly. I love how it was also included in Black Knight for some reason. I love the OVA Metal, I just love the OVA. Yeah, exactly, me too. I don't remember how many hits it takes to beat this guy, but we'll keep going anyway. Oh, you're claiming my attacks are useless now. Let's see, you've absorbed all our data, so you might know everything we're going to do. But that's not gonna help you, since we know everything you're going to do. Strange, isn't it? There, I said the thing. Yeah, it still is pretty quick. You still do build up gauge pretty quick. He's got the shakes. Sonic, I thought I told you to manage your cholesterol. I can't help it, Tails. I got hungry on the way here. Must you really have picked up those horrible petrol station chiller dogs, though? Couldn't you have gone at least something with actual meat in it? At least he doesn't have the shakes in his hands for adventure. Oh, those ridiculous shakes. Oh, yes. Silly Metal, you really thought bigger was better? Also, I really like how they just used a whole bunch of these lines in Nazo Unleashed as well. This is supposed to be the planet's defense? Oh no, Sonic! Sonic, please! I don't know if there's not really much points to do, oh! I guess you do get a pretty good, bunch of gauge from that, so we may as well just take advantage of it. In we go. And it's over already. Well, no, we're clearly kicking him in the face. And down he goes, the last time Metal Sonic was ever threatening.
Yeah, we did it!
Phew, that was pretty tough.
Too bad it's all over for you. Still got an A-Rag though. And to think, everything that Metal went through, for absorbing life data, eating chows at that one Moogie Mikey cartoon was anything to go by, getting all this power only to lose, and why?
Because we're Sonic heroes.
And just there, Metal Sonic's robot soul just died.
Just let me know.
It's like, oh my god, I died to cringe. I'm only gonna be party game fodder from now on, no! I'm only gonna be relevant in kart races and Olympic Games spin-offs.
I guess I'm out of here too. I think I'll go hunt for someone else's.
She never gives up, does she? Oh,
Yeah, I
you don't.
definitely missed that sort of dynamic between Knuckles and Rouge as well. I think this is the last time we saw it outside of Sonic X, which is where it was the most entertaining, I'd say. I love how Robotnik is just sneaking off like he's Sneak King or something, and he's just waving his arms in the air. That stiff Rouge walk.
Our next adventure awaits us, so there's no time to waste. Yeah, we're Sonic heroes.
Sonic, we're frozen in air! And that's Sonic Heroes. I probably made it look good, but I can assure you that in terms of Sonic games, yeah, this isn't exactly a high point for the series. I still enjoy it immensely, but I can definitely see this isn't necessarily the high bar in terms of quality in this. What I suppose is the best way of saying it. I don't want to say box of chocolates because you do know what you're gonna get. Russian roulette. This whole Russian roulette of quality that the Sonic series has been. You blitz through. I mean, yeah. I played this game a whole bunch of times. It's just like what I did with Adventure 2. I imagine Black Knight is going to be a bit more interesting, mostly just me getting used to the controls. Son never said I'd get him proceed to do things by himself since. Well, yeah, but I think that's kind of ironic that it's called Sonic Heroes when, arguably, I'd go as far to say that Sonic isn't necessarily a hero, at least primarily. I mean, him and the rest of the cast definitely do heroic deeds, but they're not exactly primarily heroes, and more so adventurers first and foremost. It's like he says in Adventure 2, his one true love that he professes for at the end of Adventure 2 is adventure. He's like a certain warrior of light in that sense, that his main just sort of driving force is the call of adventure, and he just so happens to do good things in the process. I thought the credits would be over already, but yeah. Honestly, in terms of conventional heroes, I'm sort of wondering who would be the best fit in that sense, and I kind of feel it would be Tails, actually, considering he has his arc in Adventure 1 and actually sort of becomes his own hero in a sense. I mean, sure, he idolizes Sonic as a hero, but again, he's not a hero first and foremost, he's an adventurer. He just knows that stopping the evil megalomaniac with a robot army is generally a good idea. Yeah, exactly. It's like he definitely has a moral compass. He's just not necessarily a hero in the sense of a Marvel or a DC hero. Which I think is one of the main things which Ian misunderstands about him. Especially in IDW with his whole big issue 50 speech. But anyways, yeah, that's still going. I'd still definitely say that this particular theme is definitely one of the cheesier Crush 40 tracks made for the Sonic series. And I do definitely miss them making more Crush 40 tracks, especially considering after this whole rights thing with Johnny, I'm not entirely certain we're ever going to see Crush 40 in a Sonic game again. You live for the thrill, wouldn't you agree, adventurer? Well, that I can't deny. But yeah, I say given the time, please come back. Well, I suppose since we're here, and we're talking about Crush 40, I really do want to recommend a lot of you checking out Hardline, which is Johnny Jolie's other band which he started with his brother. is like the one band he's super like passionate about, and nobody cares about it because it really sort of feels as though his career really sort of stopped with the Sonic franchise, and that's sort of really what he's known for nowadays. But I'd still recommend checking out some Hardline stuff. I mean, it's not... I suppose it's just one of those things where Johnny Gioli is just one of those really distinct musical voices. Oh, you want me to try out Super Hard Mode? I suppose we can give it a try. We're not going to complete it this time around, considering the time, but we may as well give it a shot, just see what's different. See if it really is as hard as everybody makes it out to be. Because even if I were to do a full Super Hard Mode stream, I don't think it's necessarily going to take all that long. Unless it's just a case of, oh, it really is just the Sonic Heroes meat grinder. But so far there, at least it feels a bit more freeform. Oh, first main obstacle. Trying not to press the B button at the wrong time. Oh, they got the proper shields now. Okay. I'm guessing the earlier stages aren't too bad, and they just sort of get really egregious the later you go on, but I haven't necessarily heard all that much about hard mode, ironically enough. Yeah, Johnny, have you heard of the song you made for Jutsu Squad? I don't think I have, actually. I think I may need to also check that out. Oh, what's in these blocks? What's in these blocks? Oh, we don't even go up to the upper route this time. We just sort of force down this fun lower route that I've been skipping all the times I've been through here. We actually get to go through it now. Also, yeah, you can just bypass that with Sonic. That's the power of the blue/black tornado for you. It gives you the power to circumvent gravity. Look at that. Get down here, you. I'm not done with you yet. Much appreciated. I mean, obviously, the one main thing I'm noticing so far is no checkpoints, which I suppose is kind of a given. Also, just a single ring here. That doesn't spell... That's kind of ominous, if I do say so myself. Oh, and just random spike balls in the middle of the road.
Some of the submerged sea ruins move when you get close to them.
Oh, it gives you just... It's a choose-your-own-adventure story over here. Alright, let's go speed. Ah. It just sort of summons these robots out of thin air. Very nice game. Alright, I suppose Tails can have some fun as well. I can hear the button presses. Well, yeah, that's just my controller. I'm sort of wondering as to whether the other controller I got from my GameCube, which is technically compatible with PC. I'm wondering about how that would fare, because I think this one's getting on a little bit, admittedly. It's like I had to take out all the padding from the triggers because it was starting to stick. I suppose this is one of those things about a lot of all this these modern gadgetries. None of it's necessarily built to last, unfortunately. Oh, let me just get rid of these. That was great. That was great. See, now now look, you're getting me all You just straight up rejected me, didn't you? How dare you, game? Alright, that's the sort of thing I was expecting, a lot of these cheap shots. So far, though, this isn't doing too badly. I mean, obviously, I suspect this is going to take this is going to be the longest level in the whole stream so far. Purely just on the fact that it's not a Team Rose level. So far, though, this isn't so bad. Well, then again, it is Seaside Hill, so... Oh, we actually do get checkpoints. Who would have thunk it? Alright. This is gonna be a proper test. A proper test of our mastery of the flying skill. Oh, and you have to shoot this. Oh, so that's how it is, game. You're actually making me use mechanical skills. They don't call you super hard for nothing. Also, I like how this is like the only Sonic game which has orcas which don't immediately try to kill you. I guess the orcas of Seaside Hill are just a lot more, relaxed like that. A proper test of your reflexes. Oh. Perfect place for a team blast, methinks. I mean, I imagine just having the ability to spam out team blasts is probably just, something which can really trivialize a lot of super hard mode. Really, it's the platforming challenges instead of, cheap stuff like those spike balls which I'm worried about, honestly. I think super hard is gonna be more... Well, I'd hope so. Let's see how the bobsled challenge is. Well, there's more, yeah, there's definitely more spike balls, but there's nothing unmanageable. Oh, and a free speed shoes. That's another thing that I kind of miss about some of these old adventure games, which I'm not entirely certain we'll ever actually get back to, in all honesty. I would definitely like to see it cut back, because I know there was a recent interview with Izuka where it was like, with all the resources it would take to do an adventure remake, we may as well just make a new game with adventure elements in it. And well, that's something that I've wanted for like the past 20 or so years or such, and I've sort of accepted that we'll never get it at any point, considering it's been this long. But I do definitely miss the power-ups. I mean, obviously those were sort of supplemented with the Wisp, but I mean, you know, stuff like the speed shoes, the invincibility, the shields, and stuff like that. That's the sort of stuff I miss. Also, is this just Team Dark's layouts again? This is looking a lot more like Team Dark's layouts. Also, I don't think we have to worry necessarily about bosses, so that's going to be a relief. Assuming that I'm going for the rest of this, which I'm not sure I'm going to. Also, we don't have to worry about scoring, so we can just move on to the next thing, which is Ocean Palace. Let's see if the giant rock hits me after the loop this time. Even as a rainbow out here, just... I don't know, just something about the aesthetic of this particular level I always liked. It's just so bright and vibrant, and the sort of... I can see why this and Seaside Hill, basically just became the modern, in quotations, version of, Green Hill Zone. I say modern because at this point, next year, Black Knight is going to be as old as 06 was when it originally came out. It's going to be 15 years old. How does that make you feel? It doesn't make me feel very good, knowing that arguably the last proper good Sonic game was like 15 years ago. And I suppose that's a little bit hyperbolic. I mean, I do still like Generations, but I'm thinking in terms of just sort of the Sonic I know, if that makes any sense. Just with the writing and such, before the writing handover and all the 2010s, which outside of Colors and Generations was misery and doubt. Oh, hey, I guess Sonic can just destroy these pillars as well. That's pretty cool. I want to see Neo Metal Sonic again in some future game. I mean, from what I've heard, he's recently appeared in Speed Battle and Sonic Dash, because that's all that really matters now. It's just, oh, what's that? You want to see all these cool characters again? Better enjoy them. Better get into the mobile games, because that's the only place you're going to see them, because spin-off games are dead. I suppose it really is like Pokemon in that sense, where We used to get all these cool side games like Mystery Dungeon and Ranger and Conquest. And now it's all just mobile games. Like, Masters and... Wait, you got one of these spiked robots here now? I picked the wrong team member for this situation. Sonic Dash... Yeah. It really feels as though most of the cast outside of, you know, Sonic, Tails, Amy, Knuckles, and Robotnik, and Shadow are just now just sort of doomed to forever be in mobile games. That's unnerving, the fact none of those fall down. Needs a little control tricks and Furions or Waggle to attack him. Didn't hate Black Knight like I did Secret Wings. I mean, I don't think many people did actually, just... From what I recall, Black Knight was like, weirdly the best nostalgia trip that I've had for this series. With the weird inclusion of all this past music. It was like the first game to do that, and it just seems so weird to do so. To the point where it kind of undermines all the nostalgia baiting that Generations was doing. What was that? That was embarrassing. I was looking at chat, I'm sorry. Well, here we go again. Knuckles just punch everything. Part of me always wants to say that Knuckles is actually best at level 0. Too cool, bro. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Knuckles, what do you think of Imagine Dragons? Thank you. I know I had to get that joke in there somewhere before the end. The call home from outside. Probably. I do. Yeah, I still have the windows open because it's another very hot day. Not as hot as last time, but still pretty hot. So let's just go with that. I'd rather not stick around to find out. Oh, this is gonna be wonderful. Apparently the homing attack just has insane range, though. Then the heat wave is starting to die out. Finally! Because I was thinking for a little bit of it died down a couple of days ago, but unfortunately it just sort of kept going after the rain came. I mean, hopefully the heat wave's not been too bad for everybody else here. I mean, arguably hitting into 30 degrees Celsius over here, it's probably not as bad as some places, but over here it's just like an extinction level event, because we're not really accustomed to extreme weather of any sort. It's like, you think with how unpredictable the weather would be, we'd be prepared for as best we could for any occasion, but nope. The whole country comes to a halt if there's snow, or everybody starts dying if there's a heat wave. You can sort of tell how I was able to defeat Meteon with this sort of weather. Really, the only weather we're really suited for is rain, because it rains a lot here. Now, I gotta say, this is pretty clever, though, actually making use of the level geometry here. It really does sort of remind me of the hard mode levels from Adventure 2. Oh, we even have the metal robots here as well. Ooh. Yeah, it really feels as though they're really pulling out all the tricks here. Ooh. No, I don't want Rocket Excel, I want Light Dash. Never mind. Let's just cut through here. Tails dubbing voice, wee wee wee. Apparently he's French. Felt a little bit bad when everybody else is practically melting. Like to have really good AC where I'm at. Oh yeah, that's another thing. We don't have air conditioning over here. All we have is just, oh. If it's hot, we just open a window or get a fan, basically. Alright, time to see if this rock will hit us in the back again. It didn't, hooray! Ah!
Looks like it's Buddy has joined the party.
Yeah, I don't think even if I were to go through all of this, it would take nearly as long to really fit up a whole stream, so... Ah. Nice, just spawning a whole bunch of enemies before the goal ring. So, given the time, do you want me to carry on with super hard mode, or do you reckon I should just call it here? Because I think I've done everything that I wanted to do at the very least. This is just a nice little bonus. Indian jeans times 2.
This must be an automated energy plant.
Oh boy, I can't wait for whatever will await us on the moving paths.
Red pipes.
Oh, lightning enemies, wonderful.
Being propelled forward. Now I can keep up with that.
Yes. Yes.
We're not
It's fine to stop you one. Okay. Yeah. I don't think... That's the thing, I would have been on board with trying out super hard mode, but I don't think there's enough in here to really warrant an entire stream's worth, so I think... Me personally, I think this is a good place to wrap up. Just getting a little test of super hard mode, clearing out everything else that I wanted to do, and... I think that's gonna do it. Tune in next week for whatever I decide to do, whether it be Tails Adventure, or most likely Black Knight, but until then, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.